Good afternoon and welcome to the first meeting of the 2023-24 year of Residence Council meetings. I'm Ann Williams, your president, and I'm calling the meeting to order. Please, if you would, be sure to silence any and all of your electronic devices before the meeting gets started. Nancy Miller, would you please come and give the invocation?
Good afternoon. I know that all of us either have suffered or have known someone who has suffered dearly. And as we watch them, we think about how can they manage. Johnny Erickson Tata had a bad accident when she was a teenager and she dove into a pool and broke her neck. She became paralyzed. She's now in her 60s, and she is wonderful in her ministry, helping others who are handicapped. But she says, I know something about suffering and how much it can hurt. I'm paralyzed. I have chronic pain, scoliosis, pressure sores from years of sitting in a wheelchair. Notice that all those ailments are physical. Paralysis, pain, pressure wounds, and it hurts. Her body has suffered great harm from years of being a quadriplegic. But have all those problems harmed her soul? She says, no way. They have only strengthened her soul. There was a young man from Europe, or his grandmother was from Europe, and he always admired her most peaceful person, as the most peaceful person he knew. Looking back on her life, he wondered how she managed to escape bitterness and resentment. Her younger years were very rough. In her teens, she worked on a farm as a child. In her teens, she experienced war. She endured that and Nazi occupation, hunger, hard labor, suffering. Later, after moving to the city, she was working and injured in a work-related accident, and she lost the use of her right hand. And yet she remained so peaceful and cheerful all the way to the end. How can this be? When peace rules in our hearts, it changes us and our view of the world. These attitudes do not depend on a happy life, but from our faith. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, help us to humble ourselves before you and receive thy peace. God of compassion, you alone can show us true healing. We pray today for wholeness of body and soul. Our challenges and obstacles differ from person to person, but each of us is in need of your healing. We offer our burdens and our brokenness to you, knowing that you offer us abundant grace, free and unconditional. Let your love enter our hearts so that we might be renewed, restored, re-energized for joyful service. In your name we ask. Amen.
Thank you, Nancy. Jeff, would you like to bring us some wisdom?
Where is it?
You think that I'm that old that I'm full of wisdom? I have a couple updates. I can do that. How's that? Remember a month or two ago, probably more than that, 3-4 months ago, you heard about CARF and all the things we had to go through to get ready for CARF. Happy to report we did get reaccredited for the next 5 years, so our team can relax a little bit. Not have to worry about them coming on board to see what we're doing. But if you see the leaders and everybody around campus, take an opportunity to thank them for what they did to get us recertified, to do that, reaccredited for the CARF. They're excited that it's over and done with, so it's moving forward with that. Our recruitment has gone very well as far as finding new team members. When I came on board in the end of December, we were averaging anywhere from 80 to 120 hours a week for agency staff on board to fill in the holes from our vacancies. I'm happy to report we are agency free for the last 4 weeks, so we are doing really, really well there. Not only does it help keep our costs down, but it's great from the continuity of our residents are getting to know the staff that we have, not somebody new every other day coming in. So again, Tamika and her team and Stephanie and her team did a great job of filling those holes and moving forward there. Renovations of the town center, the lobby area out there, has been in works for 4 years, I believe. We are finally moving that forward as well. We have a group of residents working with the decorators, the designers on getting that area redone. We met last week, had some great discussion, great information provided to the Cornerstone Group. They will be back on April 4th, I believe, to meet with the team again with some concept ideas and helping us move that project forward. So looking forward to some interesting ideas that they're going to come up with. I think they were quite surprised on how open the members of that committee were about what their needs were, what ideas they had for improving that area out there. This room is also scheduled for renovation down the road. We met last week with a multitude of organizations talking about this room, what has happened in this room. So that's moving forward as well, not as quickly as the other part, but it'll quickly follow. When that's done, they'll move in here and start redoing this area as well. So think as we go forward, we'll keep you informed more about that as well. The challenge with this room is there's a lot to be done and it's not cheap. So we're looking at the budget and we're looking at other opportunities to raise some money to help with some of the special items in this room. So don't be surprised if you get a request from somebody looking for like loose change that you have hanging around in your drawers and all that kind of stuff. So we'll keep moving forward with that too. Budget, budget, budget. It's that time of the year. I met with Chris and Dan and the corporate team on Friday, reviewed where we are in the budget process for next year. I'm optimistic that it's going to be what we need to make sure we continue to provide the quality and services that you're used to and the amenities. Without I will say without an increase, because there will be an increase, guaranteed, but it won't be as big as maybe you fear, but it won't be as little as you hope. But it's what we need to do going forward to continue to provide everything that you become accustomed to and even some new things in the future. That's it. All the wisdom I have.
Thank you, Jeff. Elsa, I believe you are bringing some scholarship winners to present to us. Elsa Falls, Chair of the Scholarship Awarding Committee.
Yes, I'm excited to come with some good news about some great, thank you. I'm excited to come with some good news about some great people who are members of the team here at Cedarfield. More than a year ago now, a group of residents started meeting to develop the Cedarfield Scholarship Program. It started as part of the 25th anniversary celebration, but it's now a permanent part of Cedarfield. Funds for the scholarships have been donated by residents, also by the Cedarfield leadership team, and several families who wanted to honor team members for their service have also donated. The scholarship provides educational assistance to those team members who want to grow in their careers while they're at Cedarfield. It's a benefit that we can offer here at Cedarfield in this competitive employment market. I would like to thank the residents who have served on the Scholarship Action Team for their hard work, reading lots of applications and supporting the program. So far, there are 25 scholarships, more than 25 scholarships actually, that have been awarded, and we're pleased to announce 5 more today. It's always such fun and an honor to be able to read the applications written by our team members and to get a glimpse into their hopes and dreams for their careers and how education can play a part in helping them achieve these dreams. The committee takes its responsibility very seriously, reading each application, scoring each application, and we are pleased to present them to you today. 2 members of the Scholarship Action Team, Sylvia Fine and Dick Sessoms, will share a bit about each person who is going to receive the scholarship. Sylvia.
Hi, everybody. This is the best part of living at Cedarfield when I get to do this. The first person to receive a scholarship is Danielle Daniels. She's not here today, but I do want to tell you a little bit about her. She's in health services. She is continuing courses to become a licensed practical nurse and LPN. She says in her application, I hope to bring more care and nurturing to the residents of Cedarfield. This degree will help me be able to provide direct care right away. I want residents to know that I'm there for them in all aspects, and they can count on me at every moment. I'm sorry we're not going to get to see her today, but if you're over in healthcare, seek her out and shake her hand, okay? She deserves it. All right, and next, Emily, come this way. So let me introduce Emily Hicks. Come on
You want me a little closer?
She is a neighborhood leader of Garden Grove. She's taking courses toward a master's in social work at BCU. She says in her application, once I have graduated with my master's, I hope to become a licensed social worker and use my knowledge and experience with the healthcare system to assist residents with their needs. These classes will help me be a better advocate for the residents I am to serve. And as a neighborhood leader, I can use the knowledge I gain to train staff to better assist residents. It's a privilege, Emily. Thank you so much. And next, we've got Jordan, who's going to come up here, and we're going to look like Mammy Yoakum and Little Abner. How are you two?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So, most of you know Jordan, because he's that happy face down in the cafe, and you make us all smile. So, Jordan is pursuing classes toward a culinary arts degree, AAS. And this is what Jordan has said. Getting a culinary arts degree will help me be more skillful in all things food related. Does that include eating? This will help me improve not only at Cedarfield, but also make me a more well-rounded culinary craftsperson because it provides both theoretical and practical experience. I want to infuse my Jamaican cuisine and culinary skills to make healthy and delicious foods for our lovely residents and more. Cooking creates bonds between people, and I want to continue to create those bonds with our residents. And I thank you so much, and I hope we can look forward to some of that island cooking. And now Dick Sessoms, he's going to introduce the next group.
Thank you. Whitney Hales, will you please come forward? Whitney Hales is our new creative expressions coordinator in lifestyles and wellness. And she's going to use her scholarship to become what's known as a facilitator trainer in a new program called Opening Minds Through Art. She writes in her application, learning more about how OMA, that's Opening Minds Through Art, works, and receiving this training will enhance what I'm able to offer our residents with memory issues so that they can have a rewarding and enriching experience with art within our community. I will also be able to bring this skill to all levels of care at Cedarfield. So thank you, Whitney, for the positive impact you're having, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Next, Mariah Robinson. Mariah does it all, does she? She's going to be continuing her courses at Bright Point Community College toward her degree in business administration. Mariah writes in her application, I'm halfway through my degree. I have been taking 3 classes a semester, and now I'm taking 4. Since I have been taking classes, I have learned to manage my time better, I guess so, and prioritize things better. I enjoy working with computers and helping the residents with their computer questions. We all have those. Mariah, all of us admire you for the fine job you're doing here every day, while simultaneously, pursuing your degree. It's wonderful. Congratulations to you. Next, I have the privilege of introducing Frank Mountcastle, who chairs our fundraising committee. Frank?
Thank you, Dick. Personally, it's been a pleasure to be part of the Cedarfield Scholarship Program and watch it grow. And I want to thank the many residents, team members, friends, families that have made gifts to this fund. My wife Dina and I, and every member of the Scholarship Action Team, have supported this effort because we believe in the power of education to not only help team members grow professionally and earn more money, but also so they can use their skills and expertise in serving the Cedarfield community. We're also especially grateful to the many of you who made gifts in November through the DuPont online matching program, and we anticipate this program will be available again this fall. We want to continue to offer scholarships to our team members, so I encourage each of you to consider making a gift in 2023. If you are interested in learning more, would like to donate to the Scholarship Fund, please reach out to Allison Zach in our philanthropy office, or to any member of the Scholarship Team Committee. We also would be glad to help you with learning about the program and telling why it's important to invest in our team members. So in closing, many thanks and special congratulations to today's scholarship winners, Tanyelle and Emily, Jordan, Whitney, Mariah. It's a great day to be here. So congratulations. And many thanks, Ann, for letting us be a part of your program today.
Congratulations and best wishes as you pursue your studies. Is Denise Bakula here today? Here comes Denise. She has two announcements to make to us today about the gift shop and its name and the winner of the contest.
Over the past several months, 5 residents, Sharon McCrone, Kathy McCormack, Alice Spillman, Mary Esther Cawthorn, Nancy Boyer, and myself, have been working with Jeff Hagan, Allison Zach, and David Taylor to refurbish the gift shop in the atrium. Sorry. On April 3rd, 2023, from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m., there will be a grand opening featuring new and fun products. We invite everyone to come and celebrate the opening with us, and light refreshments and drinks will be served. A good incentive to come. One of the tasks of this committee had to do with to select a new name for the shop. Over 80 residents submitted suggestions, and some of them had more than one suggestion, so we had a lot to choose from. And we selected and combined 2 of the entries for the name. And we thank every one of you who participated and turned in a suggestion. Okay, so the winners of the naming contest are Lynn Shands, who could not be with us today, and Pat Field, who is with us today, and if she would come forward, because they are each going to receive a $25 gift certificate to shop in the new shop.
Oh, great.
All right, now for the name. It is going to be called The Shop at 2300. So come to the 2300 and check us out. And I do want to let people know that whatever is left in the shop that was on sale at 50% off, it will continue to be that until April 3rd, when we will open with new merchandise. And also, I just wanted you all to know that many other residents have volunteered to help with various tasks to keep our shop running. And if you are interested in volunteering, and I promise it will be a lot of fun, please contact Kathy McCormack or Alice Spielman and join us and have a great time. Thank you.
Thanks, Denise, and congratulations to Ms. Field. And now we have Beth Long telling us about my favorite shop so far, the Cedar Chest.
And she doesn't get a special discount. The Cedar Chest is kicking off 2023 in high gear and with even higher hopes. As we approach the end of the first quarter of the year, our balance is now $16,005. Once again, with daylight savings time signaling the start of spring, we must shutter our shop for 2 weeks, which will allow us to refresh our inventory. There will be no receiving March 30th and no sales before our grand reopening April 7th. For those residents, friends, and team members who took advantage of the March Madness half-price sale, we almost had to call the cops to handle all the traffic. We cleared $647 on March the 9th. And in response to requests that we extend hours to accommodate healthcare shifts, we did that, but no one showed up. However, we're considering alternatives. A reminder of the upcoming schedule: March 23rd, that's tomorrow, framed art silent auction while the Cedar Chest shop remains dark. March 30th, receiving only, so remember us when you're doing your spring cleaning. On April 7th, our first sale day of spring, and cops will be standing by for crowd management. Keep your eye on Touchdown 974 and update your calendars. As always, warmest thanks to everyone for your ongoing support, and when you see any of our volunteers, be sure to express your appreciation. That's their only pay. They are the bustling around bunch you'll see in blue aprons. We look forward to greeting you next month when you'll find just what you didn't know you needed at our ridiculously low prices. Thank you.
I'm one of their best customers. Thank you, Beth. Barbara Fiske, would you come tell us about VACRA?
Good afternoon. On behalf of Charlotte and the officers of VACRA, the Virginia Association for Continuing Care Retirement Association, we are happy to announce we have 178 members, and we have become the largest community in the Commonwealth of Virginia with the highest number of residents participating in VACRA in one community. We are very proud of those 178 who have joined us, but we're still pushing for 200, hoping you will join. On March 17th, we had a program with 107 of our residents present for the social work team members who told us about the move you may want to make in the future from independent living to any other level of care. They have promised us they will put out information in printed form, but they always say they are available for any and all of your questions. I am now taking the hat of Sally Wood for the Library Committee. The one thing that Sally Wood, our coordinator, wants you to know is for you to use the library in the balcony. It has been totally revamped, making it more pleasurable for you to come, browse, and take a book. You do not even have to sign it out. When you return, please put it on the wooden old catalog that was used by the Dewey Decimal System. We've gone digital these days. We want you to know that the books are in the areas of art, birds, devotional, flowers, genealogy, gardens, general history, modern warfare, nature, music, Revolutionary War, Richmond, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, and Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of the February meeting of Residents' Council?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Minutes are approved. Thank you so much. I want to take just a minute to tell you some of what I'm looking forward to with Residents' Council this year. Last year, I spent the year learning about Cedar Field and learning more about you, getting to know many more of you as residents, and that's a good thing. The purpose of Residents' Council is to provide communication between us, the residents, and the administration, and vice versa. The foundation of the Residents' Council are the area reps who represent, they are elected by their residents and represent 21 different areas around Cedar Field. They're part of the voting members of Residents' Council. The other voting members are the 13 committee chairs that provide a lot of work for the committee, and then the officers. And I'd like to introduce the officers who are here today. Frank Miller, our president-elect. He will be standing here this time next year. Our secretary, Terry Parsons. and our Assistant Secretary Treasurer, Mary Ann Bagby. So those are 4 of your officers are here today. To ensure communication with all of the different groups, I asked the area reps when I met with them for an orientation if they would discuss with their groups, and some did it in discussions in meetings, and some just sent a little flyer under the door or in the box, asking what are 1 or 2 things you like about living here at Cedar Field? What are 1 or 2 things that we as residents can do without any money, without administration or anything else to make Cedar Field a better place? And what would you like for Residents Council to work on this year? Overwhelmingly, the thing that we like about Cedar Field, 3 guesses, people, both residents and team members, but the people make Cedar Field a wonderful place that it is. The things that we could do to make Cedar Field a better place: we could pick up trash if we see it. We could get involved in the work of Residents Council and make it a more active group. We could extend our friendliness to our neighbors, particularly those who may indicate they're a little lonely, and especially particularly to those who are new to Cedar Field, so they find what a friendly place we are. I have received a number of suggestions. I got even more today, so we'll be hearing more about these suggestions as we go along. What they would like for Residents Council to work on: communication, stop the rumor mill, investigate, disperse the facts. So if we can do that, that would be good. Continue working to get someone on the Pinnacle Living Board of Directors, and you'll hear more about that in a minute, and improve health care. And I think with Jeff's remarks a few minutes ago of saying we have not had any agency staff for a month is a wonderful thing in healthcare. In mid-March, I met with the committee chairs and talked about expectations there, asking them to set 1 or 2 or 3 goals for their committee, and then at the end of the year, provide a report of what they have accomplished this year, and possibly even setting forth additional goals, or maybe there'll be a carryover from this year that they'll still work on next year. That would be good. And then I'd like both committee chairs and area reps to think about succession management. So if this is your 2nd year as an area rep, be looking in your area, sleuthing around, to identify somebody who might be good, able, and willing to take on that role for the next couple of years to keep people being involved. The same thing with committee chairs. We have changed several committee chairs this year. A couple of the committees we have added an assistant chair with the expectation that if they like it, if they like it and the committee likes them and Frank agrees, they would move into the chairmanship next year. My goals for Cedar Field Residents Council this year would be: 1, to make Cedar Field a better place next March 1 than it was on March 1 of this year. And working together, I can't do it by myself, so working together with 400 other bodies, we can accomplish that. Revise the bylaws, review and revise the bylaws as necessary of the Residents Council. Last December, you will remember, the Residents Council adopted a unanimous resolution. Thank you. I'll take a quick sip. Adopted a unanimous resolution asking that Pinnacle Living consider having 2 Cedar Field residents, or 2 residents, I should say, not necessarily Cedar Field, on their board of directors. Mike Greenwood shared that with Chris Henderson in December, and this week Chris Henderson invited 4 of us from Cedar Field: Jim Fahrenholt, Barbara Rose, Charlotte Bailey, and myself, to work with some of their board members and have a discussion. It was a productive meeting. Their board meets in the middle of April, and Chris said he will be back in touch with us about any next steps after the April meeting. Communications with committees is another important goal of mine, and Frank Miller and I have been busily meeting with many committees this month and will continue to be in close contact with them. Some of these suggestions that I've gotten from people actually will be referred directly from me to a committee, because that's where the work needs to start taking place. When I was asked almost a year and a half ago if I would consider being your president-elect and agreed to do so, I did so because I thought it will give me an opportunity to work with you, the most wonderful people. I can't say enough good things about the people. and the team members, extraordinary team members as well. I firmly believe that only by working together can we make Cedarfield the warm, exciting, living community that we want it to be. I would ask that to communicate with me, you do one of three things. Either phone me, text me, send me an email. If you stop me in the hallway to discuss something, I may or may not remember that till I get to the next place. So talking with me in the hallway is not the best way. And I may say, we need to meet, call me, and put the onus back on you to get in touch with me to get a meeting. And I would love it if you would do me a great favor. When I'm in the dining room or in the promenade waiting to be seated in the dining room, I would appreciate it if you say, "Hi, Ann," but you don't go on about any issues at Cedarfield. I need a little downtime. If I'm going to maintain my health and some of my sanity, I need that downtime. I look forward to working with you. Any questions? Thank you. Next, I will call on committee reports, and in our minutes, we will have the full minutes of the committees. Committee chairs will give brief reports, but will not submit an additional written report. Vivian McCoskey.
Thank you. Our committee met earlier this week, actually. Going forward, it will be the second Monday of the month, for those of you who might be interested in perhaps joining us sometime. There were two major issues for us at this first meeting. You may remember a while back, residents received a survey, looked sort of like this, about exercise programs on Channel 974. These exercise programs, as you probably know, are aired from 11 to 11:30, 7 days a week. And this survey was to find out how many people use these programs, if there are strong objections to the use of this program in that context, and so forth and so on. Some people asked whether there was an alternative channel available, and there is not. So, without going into the wheres and why fors, essentially, after the discussion of the results, the committee determined that there should be no change in the current schedule of exercises on Channel 974. We then moved on to what should be our next priority for the coming year for this committee. And we decided that we need more information. We're only a few people, and we really need to know where people are going for their information, whether they're getting the information they want, and how they would like to get information. And to that end, we are going to do another survey. And it will be out. Our next meeting, we're going to have a draft of it, and after the committee approves the questionnaire, then it'll go out. It should be nothing more than 1 page of paper, so you could count on not taking a whole lot of time, but we'd really like all your feedback. We do have just enormous number of channels of communication here. Besides the 974, besides the recorded programs that have been live streamed, we have everything on Touchtown. We have flyers that go out periodically. We have just, you can name them. I won't take your time here. But the point is that we really want to know what's working and what isn't working. And if it isn't working, how do we make it happen? The Cedarfield Residents Handbook is in the process of being revised. It really does have pretty much everything residents need to know, but it's a big fat piece of paper or chunk of paper, and I don't know how many people actually read it. So that's part of what we're getting at. I would also like to take an opportunity to report on Cedarfield Voices. The response to the first issue, which came out this month, has been overwhelmingly positive. We are very, very pleased that that has come forward so well. People particularly commended the pictures, the short articles, and the features about residents. Mike Steele spoke with the Low Vision Group about the need for a large print edition, and he was told that that was not necessary, because most of the people in that group do use their electronic devices and can adjust fonts and things like that. An electronic version of the Voices is available on Touchtown under Publications. We welcome contributions of interest to Cedarfield residents, short articles, stories, photos, drawings, poems. We welcome suggestions about interesting people, places, or activities in our community. Let us know your ideas by contacting any member of the editorial board. And those members are Rose Studer, Dollar Hintz, B, Myra Nagel, Mike and Jan Steele. This publication is scheduled to come out quarterly in the middle month of each quarter. So our next issue is scheduled for May 15th, and it's currently in production.
Thanks, Vivian. Ravi, Dining Committee?
This is going to be a fairly short report. Good news first. We finally have, the way you wanted it, a Four Seasons table or a community table that you can walk to and no reservations needed. Just go and sit down and get served anytime during the dinner hours. And the only thing that we ask is that you check in with the hostess before you go sit down. This is what everybody's wanted, so now we hope that you'll use it. This is a 30-day pilot program and see how it works. The dining services is pretty fully staffed, and I think Jeff talked about staffing in the whole organization. And that's quite an achievement when you look at restaurants around, and a lot of them closing still, and we've got bad service. This is pretty good for dining here to be fairly fully staffed. The supply chain is still recovering the goods, and dining is doing all kinds of things. They're doing group purchasing, getting together with the other Pinnacle Living communities, the dining directors there, using a group purchasing company. And so they meet regularly, and with all of this, things are happening, but it's still an issue. And talk about favorite thing about dining, tenderloin comes up all the time. It still is expensive, but it will be served on special occasions. Prima opened again, as you know, 3 days a week. It was well received. 90% of the diners there have ordered the special dishes that are available only in Prima. So that's a good thing. I suspect it's going to be extended past 3 days. I haven't discussed it, but I'm sure. The household meals have improved now that the ingredients are being prepared in the dining room and sent to the households, and they put it together and also provide the sides. I've asked a few people, and they say it has improved. And I still would like comments of anyone that has any spouses in healthcare and how they do it. Cardboard disposal is an issue in dining. And garbage in general is not what it used to be. So the cardboard, what they have to do is break it down and throw it into the bins. And that takes a lot of time and effort. And in terms of the garbage, there is a purchasing organization whom dining is working with, and they can select a new vendor, and they can even get a compactor probably available that they will install. And this compactor can also handle moving all the boxes that when people move in and out. So it's a win-win situation. It was approved when Paul was here. I mean, it's only cost savings, there's no downside. But it hasn't moved past that. It seems to have gotten stuck somewhere. So I'm looking at Jeff here, and if we can move that along, I think it would be good ecologically and in terms of cost. The employee recognition program is working, it's doing what it was intended. The people who have been recognized in the dining staff really appreciate it, and they really like it. And the residents have appreciated it also. So that will continue for the rest of the year. Various groups, and they're going from the front to the back of the dining. That's it. Any questions? Okay. Yes.
Is that a recommendation from your committee to the administration that they pursue the purchase of this compactor?
Yes.
And
Well,
just
not from the committee, from dining.
we don't present recommendations from dining. Is it a recommendation from your committee?
Well, if dining is we bring things up, and they say, okay, we're having prom, things haven't gotten moved. So we bring it up so that it's part of the resident council, and then it'll be communicated to the administration. And that's how we got the the air conditioning in the atrium. We kept pushing and pushing. So I don't know why the problem.
It's not a problem, it was a question. If it was a recommendation from the committee to the residents' council, you're saying it's not, okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's a joint. It's the dining services and the committee.
Thank you, Robbie. Andy, environmental? Andy's not here? Okay. Gardening, Sally Sessions.
Hello, can you hear me? Right now, okay? The gardening committee has been working individually on Garden Day in May, which is to be held on May 3rd for the assisted living tour and tea, and May 4th for the independent living tour and tea. This year, the independent living tour will be featuring the Morning Glory household, as well as their new designed garden, the resident garden beds, the community herb beds, Janie's garden house, the upper pond, which is located at the back entrance to the hub, and the assisted living walk and gardens. The tea will be held in the Fellowship Hall this year with ladies of the Flower Guild as hostesses. The assisted living tour will consist of the resident garden beds, community herb beds, and the assisted living garden walk. Their tea will be held in the assisted living household. Please watch for more information in the April and May informers. As time nears, you will also find reminders in your copy in the mail room, the lane, and the court. Thank you.
Nancy Miller.
I am so happy to be able to announce that the Angel Fund Drive, which took place beginning in February, as of March 17th, we achieved $30,523. And that is just, we are so grateful that we can continue to help team members when they run into emergency situations. Even this week, 2 team members submitted applications, which we are considering. So I thank you so much on behalf of the committee, and we accept donations year-round. So thank you very much.
Welcoming Committee, Nellie Keener.
The Welcome Committee has recently welcomed several new members to Cedar Field, new residents, excuse me. Ray Godwin has moved into apartment 390. Ray moved to Cedar Field. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Ray moved to Cedar Field into apartment 390, and he moved to Cedar Field from Williamsburg. Bill and Pat Carmichael have moved into apartment 418. They moved to Cedar Field from Midlothian. Lloyd Watson has moved to apartment 250. Lloyd moved from 2155 Cedarfield Lane. We had a welcome session on March the 9th, and 6 residents who had recently moved in attended. We thank you for all you do to help make these incoming residents welcome here at Cedar Field. Thank you.
Thanks, Nellie. Barbara Rose with Wellness and Leisure.
We met in March, it was March 14th, and we talked about goals. We had 3 that the chair, which is Barbara Rose, put on the table, and that was to update the resident-run club's brochure and the list that is at the end of your resident phone directory. So if you look, it's not the back page, it's just one before that. And I would ask that everybody look at that, and if you know of a resident-run club that's not on it, please call Faith Cotters or Mitzi Emery. They will be updating that list, and they will also be calling everyone on the list to see if they're new leaders of the list and a new description for the brochure. And that's a marketing tool. Also, when they have new resident orientation, that booklet is often used. So it's an important tool for, it's making, I'll get further away maybe. Anyway, it's a very good tool for new people, but also people who have been here. The brochure, if you ask It was a blue cover, so we want to highlight it a little more. The second goal deals with our name. Our name is Wellness and Leisure, which predates when they changed the department name to Lifestyles and Leisure. So we will be looking at that, and then along with the bylaws and handbook update, we'll be looking at the Wellness and Leisure Committee's portions. We already know there's things in the bylaws that don't really match what has been going on for years. So, and there may be additional goals. We will be taking it up at our next meeting in April. We also talked about Veterans Day, and there are already things in the works, and Kentucky Derby. And of course, we go over with the program staff lots of wonderful programs every month. And you'll have to read the minutes that are attached to get those details. We don't need to go through those. They'll also be in your informer when you get it. And as always, we are here. One of the main or two main purposes of the committee is, or are, one, to receive ideas from residents for programs, and secondly, to get your feedback on the programs once you attend them. So thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Barbara, and I can see I'm going to fail on my very first meeting of getting us out of here by 3 o'clock. We now have reports from area reps. Jim Farrenholt.
For Area 1, a week ago on Wednesday, the lower court, which is our area, met, and our principal purpose, in addition to socializing, was to respond to President Williams' request for the things we like about living here, the things we can do on our own, and the one thing that we would like to have Residents' Council work on this year. Due to enhancing ineptness with the internet, Ann got my report and Terry didn't, hence I'm here. My apologies, because normally it would just simply be filed. So you will see it in your minutes, I suppose. That's all I really have to report. Thank you.
Carol Rankin, is she here? No report. Frank and Dean Mountcastle, no report. Carol Marco, Area 6.
I'm substituting for Pat Alders. Area 6 met on Monday, March 6th after a meeting with dinner in the Atrium Cafe. We had almost 100% participation. After a short meeting, we introduced new ideas for our area. Each meeting will feature a resident from Area 6, and they will in turn tell us more about themselves. Sally Wood was kind enough to be the first. And for our next meeting in June, Carol Marco will be next. Before we dined, we awarded table centerpieces to Joan Tipton, thanking her for her service as co-chairman, to Sally Wood for her participation that night, and then we had a drawing for the third centerpiece, which went to Harriet Johnston. A large lollipop was presented to Joy Davidson, the new co-chair, because I think she feels she was sucked into the job. A fun time was had by all.
Thanks, Carol. Sylvia, Area 8. No report. Rosie Whitehorn, Area 9.
This will be short and sweet too. Our Area 9 residents met for dinner in the Prima Club Room on March 16th. We were there to honor 2 residents who have permanently transitioned to other levels of care. Helen Bethune has moved to Poppy Place in the Poppy Place household in healthcare, and Ann Bean moved to Garden Grove, more commonly known as assisted living. That's it.
Connie Aaron, no report. Carla Oliver, Area 11.
Hello. Area 11 met March the 15th for a planning session. We decided to have a social meeting in April and a program meeting in May, trying to have something each month. We discussed issues that we have about Cedar Field. The cleanliness of the halls was a major concern. There's been a noticeable change in the last few years. The halls are not vacuumed and cleaned as they were. Several residents have noticed a mess left by movers going in and out of the Parkview entrance. There should be rules for moving. And the cell phone reception was another concern, or lack of it, and this was discussed. We have drop phone calls are common, and a suggestion was made that maybe Cedarfield could build a tower and collect fees from the cellular companies. So I don't know if that would work or not, but that was a suggestion. But we should have better services because most people have a cell phone, and we don't have good service. Anne took away a little bit all the answers that I got on the question, but we really worked on the questions that she gave us, and we found a lot of wonderful things about living at Cedarfield. And the first one, I think, was number one, feeling secure that we will be taken care of. The second, friendly residents and supportive neighbors. And the beautiful live flower arrangements. Everybody remarks about those. And throughout our facility. The wonderful grounds. This Cedarfield just looks way above other facilities, we believe, in this area. The convenience of services, including the on-site PT, and the abundance of activities and programs to enjoy. And one or two things residents can do to improve Cedarfield. I had several, but I'm only going to give you two because they've already been talked about. Number one was to encourage others to be more active and to volunteer. And the second one was to put things back where you get them. We had a real discussion about that, and and that could be done easily, you know. Then the one thing that we wish the Residents Council would work on this year is to get that resident on the Pinnacle board, and that was the majority of the people. So we met for about an hour and enjoyed getting to know each other better. We agreed to send thank you notes to the Flower Committee and the team members also that are responsible for the flowers in on the dining tables. We will meet in April for breakfast at the Atrium Cafe and celebrate recent birthdays. And on a sad note, since I read this adding on, we have had one resident to pass away in our area, Bill Franks, and I understand he was one of the original members here. So he has been here over 20 years. His son said he found a pen that it was a 20-year pen that he had been here. And I enjoyed talking to Bill, and we'll miss him on the hall. Thank you.
Thanks, Carla. Some people we did. Marty Lynn, Nancy Garber, do you have a report? No report. Sandra Manning? Ted McCormick?
Area 15 members were saddened to hear about the death of Dan Ting on February 21st, and our hearts grieved for his wife, Lena. Dan and Lena were residents of Cedarfield for many years and participated in our area's activities. We also learned a couple of weeks ago that Mike Greenwood would be leaving his apartment at Cedarfield in about a month. Mike was our representative before coming, area representative before becoming Residents Council president. We plan to give Mike a proper Area 15 thank you affair soon, and he will always be welcome at our Christmas tree decorating party, especially since he owns the tree. Both Dan and Mike will be greatly missed.
Thanks, Ted. Sherlyn Heatwell, Beverly Stevenson, Linda Schlichting. Oh, Denise is coming.
I'm only giving this report because this is the first time that I've been an area rep along with Beverly. We are welcoming our new resident, Ron Godwin, with a heavy hors d'oeuvre cocktail party at my apartment this coming Saturday. And just to let him know how happy we are to have him and to introduce ourselves to him so we can get to know him better and he can get to know us.
Great, Denise. Linda Schlichting. I'm going to report for her. Okay, quickly. Might I just ask, Cynthia's coming up, if area reps would be sure in the future to let Terry or me know yes or no report. Same thing with committee chairs, it makes it a little better.
Linda is on a cruise in the Mediterranean, so I have the job of informing you all what we have done. We have had 3 new residents come in, Barbara and Bob, oh, I don't even have that last name, sorry. And we have, all right, Barbara, it's Barbara, and then it's Bob and Janet are our new residents. Bunny Sane moved to assisted living. And so to celebrate and greet all of the new members, then we had a dinner in the Prima Club room. And it was served very well. Everybody enjoyed the menu. It was a showcase menu. We got to learn about each other. And we also had a cake that was decorated with the names, Welcome, Barbara, Bob, and Janet. 12 residents were present. We had 4 absent because they were traveling. And I think that kind of takes care of our news. We turned in our report for the answers to the questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Cynthia. Any questions of anybody? Old business is the Pinnacle Living Board, and I reported on that earlier. Any questions on that? Is there any new business? Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Adjourn, thank you, and I'm sorry we ran over.